So let us continue discussing the context, the Genesis 3 context for human redemption. In Genesis 3, because of what took place there, we will find that humans are always susceptible to evil. The nature and the manner of humans is one of evil. When God spoke to Noah in Genesis chapter 7, when he instructed Noah to go on board, having built the ark, the sinfulness of humans had reached to the point where God didn't want to have it on the earth anymore. This is the problem that continues in and among humans. So Christ was necessary, is necessary, because the nature of humanity is one that is evil and will cling to evil. Everything that is wrong with humanity, human society, and the people of God, Israel, ancient Israel or the church, stem from the Genesis chapter 3 fall. Errant path is what I'm discussing here, the errant path, because of sin and the consequence of death. Humans would build for themselves always societies and communities that were errant then and are errant today as it relates to righteousness. Let me make this point. Salvation, redemption, is by the Lord. And when God removed himself from Adam and Eve, it was a saving measure, since the presence of God could kill the sinful man. God, by mercy, saved Adam and Eve. It is clear here in Genesis chapter 3, verse 21, where God himself made clothing for the naked man and woman. That is a saving, that is a caring act. Genesis chapter 3, verse 15 is care and love, where God is setting the path for the redemption of humanity. Now, let us look briefly at some of the errant organizations or societies of humans that show very clearly that God would have to redeem us. In Genesis chapter 7, the Noah world, or the world of Noah that God destroyed. The imagination of man was to do evil continually. Here God instructed Noah to build an ark. And this, as we see in Genesis chapter 6, where iniquity or evil or wickedness reach its peak in the earth, where the Spirit of God would not contend with this evil. Genesis 6 verse 3 states, Then the Lord said, my spirit will not contend with humans forever, for they are mortal. Their days will be 120 years. The wickedness of humans increased to the point where God would not have it on the earth any longer. So this is where the Ark of Noah was built, and eventually the flood that destroyed the first world. Yet in Genesis chapter 10 and 11, we see the descendants of Noah and the people built for themselves in Genesis chapter 11 a city that was to touch the heavens. They wanted to make a name for themselves. They wanted to circumvent God, to do it, to survive or to live on their own. Yet God stopped this vision, this godless vision of humans. We see in Jeremiah chapter 18, again, where God was not pleased with his people, Israel. And he said to Jeremiah, go to the potter's house and I will instruct you there of what my plans are for Israel, or what God was feeling about his people. There God revealed to Jeremiah that what Israel had become was not pleasing to the Lord. So like the potter destroyed the pot that was not as he envisioned, so the Lord would destroy Israel and rebuild. God, out of love, will save humanity, but in his righteousness, he will not contend with the evil of humanity. A very important statement that I must make now as it relates to this discussion is that the holy God, the God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, will not, does not condemn humans. Equally important, he does not condone sin. He does not condemn humans. Equally important, he does not condone sin. God loves humans, but hates sin. What humans became in Genesis 3rd chapter, God hated. He hated the sinful nature of humans, but the human being he loved. So the God that loves humans and hates sin devised a way in his foreknowledge to separate humans from the sin he hates. The humans he loved to separate them from the sin he hates. This is the eternal priestly ministry of Christ that was manifested when he arrived. The message was delivered to Mary. You're highly favored. You are chosen by God to be the mother of the Christ. And to Joseph he gave the message, you shall call him Yeshua, for he shall save his people from their sins. It is a situation in the Bible that it shows where humans, following Genesis chapter 3, continually forge for themselves culture, build for themselves cultures or societies that were enmity with the Lord, and that would be a pattern. Yet God, in his grace, his mercy, provided a way for redemption. So the basis for salvation, for redemption, is Genesis chapter 3, where humans became sinful, and since God loves humans, he provided in himself a path of redemption to save us from that errant path which we took following Adam.